Good Shabbos, everyone. And welcome to Congregation Ner Tamid. We have people here in person, yay, and we also have people on the web stream. So wherever you are worshiping from, we greet you. Cantor Hutchings is on vacation, and we wish her a wonderful vacation. And here we have Glory Rosenberger, a member of our Shabbatones and our music director for religious school. So thank you, Glory, for being here.
Yeah, it's wonderful
because
to be here.
You know the alternative. Me. You don't want me singing. No, that is a definite no-no. So again, welcome. I hope you all, when you entered, you received a prayer book so you could worship. If you don't, now's a good chance to kind of make your way over there and you can grab a prayer book. And we begin with a familiar song, Shalom Aleichem, page 142, I believe.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boichem L'Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Tzedchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Among the exciting news at Congregation Ner Tamid is the reopening of our Cantor Preschool, which will take place sometime in August. We have ourselves, direct from Los Angeles, a brand new director for our community, Karen Stern, and we'd like to invite her to come forward to kindle the Shabbat lights. Karen, page 120. So I expect all of you to say, my grandkids are, and get them in the school. Enrollment is open right now.
La 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav Vetzivanu lechad lekner Vetzivanu lechad lekner Vetzivanu lechad lekner Shel Shabbat. Amen.
She comes from Valley Beth Shalom. How many of you have been to that synagogue? Got 1, 2, 3? So you guys can compare notes afterwards. Do you know so-and-so? How long were you in Valley Beth Shalom? About 27 years. So go back in time and see if she knows the rabbi, the teacher, the person that influenced you when you went to that synagogue. Good Shabbos. She knows them all. Thank you. We continue on page 124. At the bottom we read together, May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. May it welcome all who have cares to unburden, thanks to express, hopes to nurture. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity. May its threshold be no stumbling block to young or straying feet. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be, for all who enter, the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue with the Lachad Odi, page 138.
Shalom, ateret bala, gam besimcha, uvetzola, toch emunei, am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi, legrat kala, panei shabbat nekabela.
We remain standing for the Baruch Hu, 146.
Am I
149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sisters, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brothers, my sisters, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. 151 together. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol, all these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form? Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Hear, O
Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. Please be seated. So those of you who are watching on the web stream, especially our B'nai Mitzvah students, we hope that you join along with Glory, everyone here in our community as well, the Be'ahavta.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi metzavecha hayom alavavecha Veshinatam levanecha, vedibarta bam, veshivtecha bevetecha, ulchettecha vederech, ushokbecha uvkumecha, ushartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotefot beinenecha, uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru ve'asitem el kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelochehem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzetzi etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem Elohim, ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet.
Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Don't forget to clap. Michamocha baili Madonai. Clap, 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 clap. Michamocha netzar bakodesh. No
161. Let there be peace, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. V'ha'amidenu, Shomrenu lechaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukat shlomecha. Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Veshamru b'nei Israel et Hashabbat, la'asot et Hashabbat ledoratam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Israel et Hashabbat, la'asot et Hashabbat ledoratam berit olam. Beni Uvein B'nei Israel Oti Le'olam. Veshamru B'nei Israel et Hashabbat, la'asot et Hashabbat ledoratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Veshamru b'nei Israel et Hashabbat, la'asot et Hashabbat ledoratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat v'inafash shavat השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. One more time. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם.
Oh, my little soul there, huh? We continue with Amidah 164, 165. For the congregation, please rise. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city, but prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will.
Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agir Tehilatecha, Ufi Agir Tehilatecha. Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Adonai Svatai Tiftach, Ufi Agir Tehilatecha, Ufi Agir Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'yimatenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chazdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Oser U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah, Atah Gibur Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh Hakol, Atah Rav Le'Hoshia Morid Hatah, Mechakel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofech Olim, Umatir Asurim, Umechayem Emunato Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'el Givurot, Umido Melech, Melech Memit, Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua. Nachayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol.
We continue reading at our own pace, and as you complete your prayers, please be seated. We continue to page 179. Turn now to our Misha Berach list. We think of those in our circle, family and friends. Hearts go out to Florida, those trapped, terrible accident. We think of those closer to home as well, brothers and sisters, our spouses, our friends, loved ones. We think of those who are caregivers, who give of themselves tirelessly to ensure that those who are in need of healing are given that sense of comfort and support and love that they need. Those who struggle matters of the heart, addiction, of the mind, we think of them as well. We think of Irving Zide, Sharna Blumenfeld, Joel Ewan, Betsy de la Milera, Vivian Van Duzen, Sonny Spiewak, Jake Whitley, Sarah Brown, Len Kurtman, and Jeff Jonas. If you'd like to say the name of someone special to you, please simply stand, and as I look your way, simply say the name. As we think of all these, those who wish, please rise. We join together in our Misha Berach.
renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Again, a Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So this month across America, communities have been celebrating Pride Month. I have to confess that until I began preparing for this sermon, I really didn't have that much knowledge about the history of Pride Month. I know many of you do, but for me, it was really interesting to learn the history. For part of me simply viewed it as a day or a series of days for colorful parades, and really a celebration of diversity. I was aware that at one time it was controversial to hold such parades, and they were parades not just of celebration, but of protests. And gradually, they've become more mainstreamed, even with corporate sponsors. I took this as a recognition of how far we have come as a society, and the ability of our society to understand how people express their sexuality different than heterosexuals. And that does not make them bad or evil or sinners. And it served over the years as a vehicle to show America that members of the LGBTQ community were indeed our brothers and sisters, in some cases our fathers or mothers. They were not the other, but part of us. So what of its history, and why June? Pride owes its roots to a watering hole and refuge for the LGBTQ community, which on a pivotal summer night became the site of the Stonewall Rebellion. The riots took place during the early hours of June 28, 1969, at the Stonewall Inn, an event that many historians now credit as the turning point for the pro-LGBTQ movement. Although there were organizations long before, this was the turning point. Before the riots, this Stonewall Inn was a safe haven for the individuals of this community during the 60s. Then it was a nightclub with no running water, drinks were made with alcohol that was rumored to be stolen, and patrons were required to sign a guest book to give Stonewall the appearance of exclusivity, though many used aliases. The Stonewall Inn's owners even extorted its rich customers by threatening to out them, which soon became a more profitable business than serving drinks. Police raids were common during this time. Officers often harassed, arrested, and discriminated against the bar's patrons. This was indicative of the time's broader social climate, especially in New York State, which enforced a law that revoked the liquor licenses of any bar that served the LGBTQ customers. So during the early hours of June 28th, police conducted another raid on the bar. The events of that night are mostly a puzzle made up of different personal accounts, and you're likely to read conflicting facts about how exactly the riot started. But according to a 1989 interview with Sylvia Rivera, a transgender activist who was there that night, it started out as any other raid, and she says, the police came in to get their payoff as usual. They would come in, padlock the door. This is what we learned to live with at that time. We had to live with it. We had to live with it until that day. A typical crackdown with the police arresting 13 people, including employees and people violating the state's gender-appropriate clothing statute. On this night in June, however, the bar's patrons fought back, and a crowd formed outside the stone wall, throwing cans and bricks and other objects at the police, who were then forced back into the bar for protection. And that started it all. In the months following the rebellion, at least 4 different organizations formed in solidarity, including the Gay Liberation Front, the Gay Activists Alliance, radical lesbians, and the street transvestite action revolutionaries. And precisely a year after the riots, the Gay Liberation Front organized the first Christopher Street Liberation Day March, later known as the Gay Pride March. Along the street where the Stonewall Inn is located, similar marches took place in cities across the globe shortly thereafter, giving rise to the events of Pride Month as we know them now. Those of you who watch the news know that in Tel Aviv, they have one of the largest such pride marches in the world. Still, Pride wasn't officially recognized as such for over 30 years. Former President Bill Clinton eventually declared June Gay and Lesbian Month, and in 1999, and then former President Barack Obama expanded this moniker to become more inclusive in 2009 with LGBT Pride Month. It was also Obama who declared the Inn a national monument, and he said, "Stonewall will be our first national monument to tell the story of the struggle for LGBTQ rights. I believe our national park should reflect the full story of our country, the richness and diversity and uniquely American spirit that has always defined us." You know, when we're here, it's often difficult to remember how we got here, about the struggles that took place, the things that we take for granted now that just a few years ago were points that would cause someone to be arrested, harassed, or lose their job. I think it's important to know this history, to know the journey of the millions of people in this community who have had to hide who they are, deny who they are, and live an important part of their lives in secret. Depending upon what state they live in or county, what school they might go to, what place of employment, they would be treated differently. And they were always at risk, either of livelihood and sometimes of life or limb. As if to put an exclamation point to this fact that not all acceptance today is universal, I point to the news of the past few days. And I admit, I'm not a huge sports fan. I usually tune in near the end of a season, all right? And then I go, oh, who's going to win, the Stanley Cup? Oh, who's going to win the World Series? But who could not see the front page of our newspaper that Carl Nassib, the Raiders' defensive end, who on Monday made headlines around the country as the first active NFL player to come out as gay. In his own words, he said, "Hey, what's up, people? I'm at my house in Westchester, Pennsylvania. I just wanted to take a quick moment to say that I'm gay. I've been meaning to do this for a while now, but finally feel comfortable getting it off my chest. I really have the best life, the best family, friends, and job a guy can ask for. I actually hope that one day videos like this and the whole coming out process are not necessary. But until then, I'll do my best and my part to cultivate a culture that's accepting and compassionate." Contrasting losing a job, he gained the respect across the league. The NFL family is proud of Carl for courageously sharing his truth today. "Representation matters," said NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. We share his hope that someday soon statements like this will no longer be newsworthy as we march toward full equality for the LGBTQ plus community. And we wish Carl the best of luck this coming season. And then Sarah Kate Ellis, who is the president and CEO of the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, said, "Carl's powerful coming out is a historic reflection of the growing state of this community's visibility and inclusion in the world of professional sports, which has been driven by a long list of brave athletes who came before him." just some of the people who came out in support. I think coming out of such prominent people is still important to this day. There are so many who still are in fear of a job loss, rejection from family, rejection of their faith community. Love the sinner but hate the sin is not a loving compromise. In the Reform movement, we understand that one of the overriding values of Judaism is B'Tselem Elohim, that we are all created in the image of God. The Bible says many things. Slavery exists in the Bible. In a couple weeks, we're going to read a portion that a rebellious son is to be stoned to death. I don't know how many would live past teenagehood. And yes, there's a point of view on homosexuality in the Bible. But we, especially the Reform movement, understand the Bible from a historical perspective. We understand that there are many parts of the Bible which are anachronistic and troubling. We wrestle with and decide which need to be discarded by the wayside, looking instead for overarching themes and teachings. For the Bible at its core is a document of love and the journey of our people, and by reflection, all people. A desire for all people to find their place on earth, at peace with God and at peace with their fellow human beings. You know, with pride I remember sharing with our board, just after gay marriage became legal in our state, of course I decided to do such officiation, but when I was hired that wasn't an option. And so I thought, due process, let's tell the board and let's see what the discussion might be. Maybe some would object, some would have concerns, and when I shared it with the board, I think the discussion lasted about 30 seconds. The discussion went like, good for you, Rabbi, we support you. And then we went on to the next agenda item. Likewise, when we hired members of this community on our staff, a non-issue. If people whispered behind the scenes, I wasn't aware. I'm sure it could have happened. But we had a rabbi, an educator, both who were well received by our community. And I hope that this is an ideal we can continue to uphold and find even more ways to be inclusive. The movement of this community has morphed over time, but one message has always been clear: equality for all, and love is love. Shabbat Shalom. 586, we rise for the adoration.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, velo samanu kemishbechot adama, shelo samchel chienu kahem, vegoralenu kecho hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Kaddish prayer is found, page 598. We say Kaddish for Arthur Fink, Eddie Schiff Jr., and the Surfside, Florida victims. We observe the yortzites of Brian Abbott, Ronald Bartow, Ronald Borochoff, Donald Buchanan, Joseph Chenin, Philip Cohen, Rose Gellin, Clarice Goldberg, Frederick Goldberg, Leonie Hababu, Louise Hamatz, Louis Harris, Lourdes Heroes, Daniel Hoffman, Anna Jacobs, Masha Khan, Anita Katz, R. Muriel Kurzweil, Phyllis Mark, Stanley Mattis, Marion Milstein, Mildred Mirop, Myrna Mitchell, Joseph Malinsky, Minnie Poneman, Morton Rosen, Eileen Rusky Sussler, Alan Sandell, Herman Santer, Harvey Santer, Gene Sachs, Max Schiffman, Ann Schiller, Rebecca Sherman, Gary Silver, Brian Henry Tabak, Frida Betty Turk, Ruth Zaid, and Barnett Zalato. For those of you who'd like to say the name of someone in your life who's passed away, please stand and say their name. Although we can't read the names from the chat, Cantor has that magic power. We acknowledge your loss on the web stream as well as we all rise 598. Yitkadal v'yikadash shemei rabah v'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayichon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael b'agalav v'mankari v'yamru amen. Yehesh mei rabah mevorach le'olam olmei maya yit barach v'yishtabach v'yit ba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekusha b'richu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, damiram v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlomo rabba min shamay v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say, amen. You may be seated. All right, we have our Kiddush and Motzi and then our announcements. So Byron, we invite you to come forward. And Karen, if you want to come up as well, you can have a little Kiddush and Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Whole slide. That's the good thing about COVID, you know, you get a big piece.
You have to forgive me. That's a fantastic challah. I'm enjoying it. I know I've got to get to the announcements.
Now you got a challah.
Yeah. My name is Byron Brooks. I'm one of the board trustees here at the temple. I'd like to welcome you to Shabbat this evening. Here's our fantastic announcements. Preschool is back. We're happy to welcome Karen Stern to our staff as preschool director. She has already started in the office and is looking forward to getting the preschool open this August. Please visit the CNT website to sign the interest list if you're interested in getting somebody in a preschool, and Karen will reach out to you. As an added bonus, the first 18 students to sign up will receive partial scholarship. That's fantastic. Join Rabbi Axelrod for Judaism in 3D this Sunday. Are glasses going to be given out for this? Yeah? Okay, maybe the 3D glasses will be given out. This is June 27th at 11 a.m. in person here at the temple. We'll be learning about Jewish culture, holidays, and getting a fun tour of the temple with a peek behind the scenes, maybe even the Tesla tunnel. Is that a possibility? A ride underneath the temple? No? All right. Registration is live. Membership committee's trivia night is back this coming Tuesday, June 29th at 7 p.m. on Zoom. This month's trivia is all about Broadway plays. To RSVP, please check out the CNT website. Registration for religious school is open. Again, please visit the CNT website to register. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are only 102 subscribers away from 1,000 subscribers. Onegs are back right now in a take-home fashion and soon out on the patio together. Please contact Roberta in the office if you'd like to sponsor an Oneg. We also want to welcome new members and guests. If you're a guest, just raise your hand. Guest? Thank you so much for being here. And new members, if you're a new member, raise your. Thank you so. Guests and new members, fantastic. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Our thank yous are to Gloria Rosenberger, Ricky on the piano. Thank you, Ricky. Fantastic as always. Alex on sound. Alex is in the back on sound. Heather on tech. Heather, thank you for all your tech support. Dell, thank you for everything that you do. All of our amazing ushers and volunteers, and again, Karen for candle lighting. That is it for the announcements. I'll see you in the Oneg.
Good job. He may be the announcement king after that. All right, those of you who are visiting, raise your hand again. Where are you from?
We just moved
From Sacramento. You just moved here now? You came for the cold weather?
Yeah.
That's good. You want to stand up, introduce yourselves? We'd love to know who you are. Okay. Oh, Mazel Tov. Everyone take out your gum or your candy. Throw it at them right now. Wish them sweetness. That's great. You're going to get married here in Vegas or back to Sacramento? All right. Well, congratulations. We're excited for you. So, new members, go ahead and reintroduce yourselves. Go ahead. The whole row. They're putting their name on that row. Oh my God, do you guys know each other? Anyone else from Sacramento? That's the theme. This is Sacramento Shabbat.
Wait, 3 of them.
You were
are
there
in the
last
choir,
week.
Rabbi.
We have 3 Sacramentos.
3 of them are in the choir.
All right, my great aunt Helen lived in Sacramento. For generations, she sold World Book encyclopedias. How many of you remember when they went door to door? All right, we love those World Books. That's right. Yeah, she made a living on that for I don't know, 40 years, 50 years. Well, very good. Well, immediately after services, if you want, you can return your prayer books. That would be helpful. If not, just leave them behind the seats. But where Heather is opening those doors, don't run, but I think we have ice cream sandwiches. So pretty good. All right, let's join together in our final song, Oseh Shalom.
Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, el kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Lori. Shabbat Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Enjoy the Oneg Shabbat. We're still kind of in that in-between time of COVID, so I think they're made to go. Some of you may want to stay around or talk on the patio, but enjoy the ice cream sandwiches and cookies.